What's going on, my creative collective? Welcome to your creative unconscious reading for September 10th. We're going to hop on in. Before I start, though, thematically, what was coming up as I was thinking about this reading and the energy of it, what kept coming to mind was it was the words let them. Like, let them, them just meaning this, the way that we separate, our own opinions from that of others, and just that, like, let them underestimate you. Let them mock, laugh, let them do all of those things and just create this sort of, not a wall, but a fence where you can open the gate and walk through. And that is your let them, right? This is your let them so that you get to do you. And that kind of, it came through as like a front yard, right? Where, it's so, however that energy tracks and however this goes, we'll see. But so I'm going to pull some thematic cards. Here you go. You want to clear it, baby girl? Okay, thank you. I'm a big fan of tarot, this one. Okay, Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative unconscious for September 10th, please? This Mercury retrograde kickoff as well. Attraction and magnetism, and I'm almost seeing this like freeing up energy. Like what is free when you allow them, when you let them, right? What is of your energy, what is free when you let them? And just meaning like let them do whatever they're going to do, because it has nothing to do with you. And it's not coming from a defensive place, and I don't quite know where this was coming from, but just like the idea of like, let the world do what it's going to do. Your job is to be in this space, this childlike wonder, this magnetism, this making worlds, this standing back and seeing your creation come to fruition in front of you, devoid and apart from the opinions of others that might have gotten in the way, not necessarily just about the appropriateness of it or the feasibility of it, but the way that you would allow other people to become your compass. Let it break. Let it break. Let the magnet forget which pole you're at, and the one that spins, right? Forgetting where you are, 222 on the time. It's that sense of forgetting where you are, not necessarily in time and space, but a little bit, because I'm getting this image of cups, as kids, because of the childlike wonder here, right? Those cups that you attach with string, and it's like these past life and future versions of you speaking through time in these little cups attached through string. And it's just like I'm seeing a mouth whisper into a cup, let them. Let them. A whisper into a cup. That's so interesting. Like, could be an Ace of Cups, I don't know. Life, breath. Yeah, this is where I feel like you're making worlds. This looks like a whole constellation being born, right? I haven't pulled this card in a reading before. Maybe not. Maybe I have. I feel like this looks familiar anyways, because I think about, when I see this image, I think about, hi baby girl. I think about Sonia Choquette talking about how the throat chakra is sort of like the chimney stack for the heart. 333 on the time. Interesting. Okay, so let's see where this takes us. Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative unconscious collective for September 10th? September 10th. Yeah, let them. It's quite loud, but not in a way that limits you, right? Like, think about how much more your energy becomes accessible to you when it's no longer attached. Like, it's like, I think about those, they have these like microphone things that you can use for microphones that have like, it muffles the sound, right? So if I were to like doing this, you could probably hear it somewhat if it's near the arm of the microphone stand that I'm using. But I'm seeing something along those lines, and just like I can't think of the name of it, but it's like muffling the sound, right? And that's kind of like, but you would get caught in this web where if you moved, it's like these cords would move with it because you're so focused on the energy of other people that you're creating cords that attach to them. And it's not about it, that's no way to really live, right? So it's about disconnecting that. And it's not even calling back your energy because it wasn't really taken. It was more like caught up in patterns and things like that. Yeah, caught up in patterns for sure. I feel like that's, yeah. And I just feel like maybe this is related to the eclipses that are coming up in the fall, that sort of are the end, one of the bookends to the ways that they kicked off this year, in terms of, fulfillment and the nodal axes tend to do with destiny, fate, but also the fate that we make for ourselves with choices that we make, right? And just choices that we make to heal. We don't always do it gracefully. I know I don't necessarily. And it's in retrospect that you realize how beautiful that actually was, right? You realize in retrospect how much you actually do have. In retrospect, you realize how enough you actually are. And so it's like sort of this, I almost see like this, like I'm seeing this like swinging, like a door swinging, like someone just left, and there's like a door swinging, but it's not left as in like leaving something behind. It's almost like you're deciding what door you're going to have that effect with in your life. Like, what are you closing out? What cycles are you closing out? What direction are you headed in? How is all of this coming together for you? Because of things that you're doing. And it feels like there, again, I think about that image of somebody being attached by cords, and it's not in a way that other people are feeding off of that, but it's like someone is feeding other people willingly because they're engaging in these patterns. There's that cup, right? There's that cup. Ace of Cups in the wheel. So I do feel like this has a lot to do with that aspect of like fate, destiny. Yeah. Healing some happiness, healing it's like this fulfillment. Healing fulfillment is like the big thing that I'm getting from this. This isn't typically, okay, I'm going to do it down here. These I'm going to put down here. Healing happiness, but I almost feel like it's like the heart is expanding. And it's not that the heart is expanding, generally speaking. I feel like the capacity for love is expanding. That's what it's like, this ability to give and receive, right? It's looking at that energy. It's looking at that energy. This could also be fated love. I think about the Ace of Cups in terms of relationship. It's quite fortuitous, or auspicious. But I feel a bit too like there's an aspect of something that you're doing for yourself here. You're drawing things towards you. And I almost feel like this is like, it's almost like you're breathing life into the heart center again. Like it's like waking up, right? I think about a car on a cold morning. Here, where I am in Southern Ontario, our mornings can be at times like minus 45 degrees sometimes, Celsius. With the wind chill and everything, those are the cold alert mornings. But it's like I see this, like the puff that comes out of the back of the car that makes it look like it's super toxic, but it's just not. It's cold outside, and it's like this vehicle that's been sitting in sub-zero temperatures is warming up again. So it's almost like this like vessel, this vehicle for you, your heart center as a vehicle maybe is like firing up again. Like there's something that's waking up. And I get this image too where it's like waking in dream, and then you're actually bringing it into something more 3D. You're bringing it into something much more 3D. Yeah, especially with the sun and the star here, I feel like these two energies together tell me a lot about hope and healing. And it's almost like this is like what I'm seeing again is this idea of like almost by night and in dreams brought into waking life, right? Brought into this source of happiness, brought into this like light coming or emanating from the heart center. And I think the sun, too, represents that childlike wonder as well. So, Spirit, what additional messages do you have for me? Okay, so we're going to start here. Knight of Pentacles. 10 of Wands and the Moon. cancels the Moon, 10 of Wands. Two of Cups and the 6 of Wands. There is relationship energy here. If not relationship, then some measure of connectivity between another person. 6 of Cups, more soul bond energy. Wow. This is really strong energy. I don't typically read for relationships in here, but it's almost like I'm hearing, again, like let them. Like it's like being led. What are you allowing yourself to be led by? 1010 was just on the time. Being led by value, being led by things that are important to you, that you yearn to, long to invest in, and invest of yourself in. Or are you being led by, burdens and fears that you can't see? Like it's like you're steering by starlight when you don't necessarily have to be doing that, because there's another way that you could be investing in things. And it's sort of like releasing these attachments. This 10 of Wands is coming across as attachments, right? Why do you carry the 10 Wands? It's like there's something that it's like trying to prove something, you have to carry them. There's all these strike me as like stories, like, narratives, creative narratives that you've constructed, storytelling, stories you've told yourself about carrying those burdens, about carrying those wands. And you don't actually need to, right? The wands are what's being suggested is that there's another way to do this in terms of relationship that is more based on, I don't know, I almost get this as being like, it's almost unassuming. It's unassuming because the 6 of Wands it's a success card, but it seems it's like coming across to me as like an unassuming success where it's like, you're sharing in the victory of something with the crowd. There's like this, it's like you have to choose to see specific aspects of this success, right? You have to choose to see this ham, I swear to you. She's just the best. She is the cutest. I know, baby girl. And I think that the way the light gets in is through a little bit of reframing the past. And I feel like it's not just reframing the past, but I feel like this is through soul bond energy. Again, past life, right? Like I picked up on some of that here with that energy in terms of let them, right? So it's almost like you have to let them, like let other people do what they're going to do, because I feel like there might have been this attachment to things you can't see, right? And they're wearing masks here. So it's almost like attached to the ways and moon in maybe your moon sign or the house your moon is in. It's like, carrying things that you didn't need to necessarily carry related to that. Or thematic relations to the way that those things are set up. Yeah, let them do whatever, right? Let people underestimate you. I've been underestimated for most of my life. People didn't expect much of me when I was younger. They certainly saw potential, but then it's like there's so much that can come with that as well. But it's like let other people do what they're going to do. If you lead from your heart, you're going to make entire worlds. And of course, everyone's going to have an opinion about it. But that's none of your business. Your business is your fate, your heart center. It's like that needs to be the main focus. And not just, focus on your heart center. Focus on the wisdom that sits therein. Focus on the wisdom there. And there's, again, this beautiful depth of, I feel like this is almost like guidance. Like this is like following the light, right? Following the light. There's a lot that is leading you right now as well. And on my vision board up here, I've started to build it again. And one of the words, so Danielle Laporte talks about this in her book, The Desire Map, your core desired feelings. In terms of manifesting and things like that. We think we want the stuff, but what we actually want when you get down to it is the way it will feel when it will get here. So instead of saying, I want a person or relationship that is exactly like this, like I want this to happen, envision what qualities you want to share. This is a Louise Hay thing that I'm kind of blending into this 1414 on the time. But Louise Hay talks about, looking at the qualities of a partner that you would like, not the traits, the quality of the relationship relationship, right? How do you want to be together? How do you want that to feel? One of the things I've always wanted to feel in relationship is expansive and a feeling of held but free, to use a Glennon Doyle quote, right? So it's like, what are the feelings that you want to connect to? And I think that is part of this big key too, this big key. It's like you're finding the key. You are the key to manifesting. Because I get this as, Jupiter is expansion, yes, but Jupiter also is manifesting as well. And the key to manifesting, not in terms of like, give me the stuff, right? Like not, and not like running out of the car or running out of IKEA being like, start the car. Like, it's not like that either, right? It's the point here is that there's something bigger happening. Like, I almost feel like this is like the 5D of what's going down, right? The 5D. And then this is sort of the 3D manifestation of that. A lot of healing. And I think it's like, it's not just about finding hope. It's not just about finding hope, but it's about understanding that your happiness is a light as much as hope is too. Hope is so closely tied to the lack thereof, right? And we find hope when we first feel a sense of hopelessness, perhaps. And it's like, it's the experience that one gives us the other. The sun is here possibly as a reminder that maybe you don't need hopelessness to know where you are. Maybe you don't need that, right? I see this as much as it is filling up as an emptying, right? And perhaps that's like emptying old cups where you needed hope when what you have is happiness, and it's a different vibration altogether, right? It's a different frequency. And I know I haven't been posting as much on this channel as I was initially, because I just needed to do an energetic reset and a priority shift as well, right? I working through like, what does fulfillment mean in the context of doing the things on this channel that I really enjoy, but then also otherwise, right? And understanding my relationship to abundance and how that feels. So that's where my head has been at. But this is such an interesting reflection though, just in terms of like, I think about the star too. I got this from Sassy Scorpion Tarot's thing, where it's like the star is like your she calls it your guiding principle, things along those lines. And it's like, that to me is like, you don't need hopelessness in order to know hope, because encoded in happiness is hope, right? That is looking for the silver lining, but you don't necessarily, and not to dictate how we should experience the valleys when we're on the peaks. But just to say that it's almost like a rearranging of things. It's like a rearranging of things. And perhaps this is a little bit of like how the light gets in, is meeting yourself, right? Meeting yourself where you are, and other people are meeting you too, right? And I feel like a lot of this, again, comes back to releasing attachments to the things you can't see. What are you investing your energy in here? Right? How are you investing your energy? You investing your energy, maybe slowly, which can be annoying to other people, but it's okay, because if you're led, what you're led by, what are you led by? Are you led by the need to put down the burdens? And then, and it's like, is that what you're led by? Like, that's, Awakening to Spirit talked about this as well. I think in the Aries reading that she recently did, Cindy talked about how, we can be led by fear. And that's almost what this strikes me as, right? Like, this is like all of the ego wands, all of the constructs that the ego uses or needs to survive, that become burdensome to us because it's efforting in a different kind of way. It's efforting in the absence of clarity, which is what the moon tells me, right? It's not just effort in the absence of clarity. That's not just what that can represent, and there are many effects that has beyond it. But what this comes down to me, is about, what are you allowing yourself to be led by, right? Six of Wands is like, I'm almost getting this as like vision, but like the beta version, right? The Emperor has the vision, is like the visionary, right? Among other major arcana, yes. But it's almost like allowing yourself to have a vision that's inflected with something that's not just reciprocal, but that feels like victory, right? That feels like, wow, I didn't know it could be that good. I didn't know it could be that good. And sometimes we have to get outside of ourselves. And that's kind of what the Six of Cups is coming across as to me. Getting outside of yourself, be it through an awareness of past life dynamic, awareness of pattern. But it's almost like you're standing outside of a past version of you or some version of you that's not anchored in a right now, and the emotional experience that you have when you're reflecting on that, and the yeah. Okay, I'm gonna clarify these. I'm gonna clarify. Spirit, what messages do you have for my creative and conscious collective for Saturday, September 10th, please? Yeah, I haven't watched a ton of tarot lately, which I feel like I'm like, oh. But it's just, again, doing that energetic reset and getting back into gratitude and doing things that I was doing a while ago and just started to let slip, right? Because habits, patterns, all of that, and unexpected stuff popping up. And yeah, so. So if you're here watching this, I appreciate you investing your time and spending your time with me. So thank you for that. Spirit, can you please clarify this Knight of Pentacles, please? Please clarify this Knight of Pentacles. Both. Okay, Six of Wands and Eight of Cups. Yeah, I really feel like it's not just what you're investing your time and energy into. I feel like this is an aspect of this Six of Wands, right? I feel like this is an aspect of that because it's like you get the vision, the fire, right? The victory, that feeling. And I feel like this is like the feeling of victory. What does that mean to you with this Two of Cups? I know that the Two of Cups tends to mean a connection and soulmate energy or bond energy of some kind. And if not, a bond, then certainly I think about it in the context of these cards here, as well as the Ace of Cups and the Sun and the Star, right? So, but this energy tells me a little bit that it's sort of like, this is more like the recognition that makes your heart go like, ooh, oh, okay, right? That's that energy. And not in a way that it's just, again, it's like childlike wonder. Like, we think about wonder in terms of the way the world works and the way that the questions of the universe and the things that we can't quite answer. But then I think about it in terms of people. Like, when did you feel wonder last when looking at people in your life? I mean, I feel wonder looking at this being all the time, right? She's very tired. She's so sleepy. It's very exhausting just getting rest all day. I know. I think cats sleep for something like 18 hours a day. Like, it's just so tiring. Do you want to clear the deck? Thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, so this Six of Wands and the Eight of Cups, this tells me that this has been part of a bigger journey that you've been on in this past little while, if not the past year. I mean, I think about the Eight of Cups in terms of the eclipses, and I know I mentioned it earlier. You can kind of get some of the eclipse energy on that. And I think that this is maybe something to do with the nodal axes as well. But there is a feeling of success. If not success, then certainly efficacy. Like, you're using this time and the energy of it well, right? You're using it well in service to something bigger than yourself. Because the Six of Wands is also a gathering together in the square, right? It's a victory that serves a group of people. It's a victory that serves many. So it's almost like there's something about it that's bigger than you. And I think the Ten of Wands made you feel like it was just you. Like, that can feel really isolating, right? Perhaps without us realizing it, but it can feel really isolating because it feels like you're carrying everything and doing everything on your own. This is also deeply rooted in ego, right? That's something that Cindy had mentioned on that channel, Awakening to Spirit, where it was like, fear, what we do out of fear. And I feel like that's kind of not just what we do out of fear, but that she mentioned is like ego, right? Fear-based decisions is ego. So I kind of feel like maybe those are patterns that you're reflecting on, right? You're reflecting on those patterns and you're questioning what it is about them and about yourself that you're investing in differently. Because I feel like this is a shakeup, right? It's a little bit of a shakeup. The Tower energy isn't here, but it's almost like I'm seeing this like ripple go through. And it's starting here with this magnetism card, right? It's this ripple that goes through. And again, you can kind of, I get the image of that with this card as well. This ripple through. 3, 7, and 2, 7. 9 and a 10. End of cycles, yes, but so I'm seeing six also showing up three times here, which tells me that there's some choosing that you're doing here. Choosing just in the sense of not. These things are decisions that you have to make. You have to really want to feel better. You have to want something more for yourself, which seems like such an obvious thing to say, right? But this week I was looking through old Abraham Hicks books that I have. One of them, Money and the Law of Attraction. The spine is cracked. It's well loved, and one of the things that they talk about in the book, the power. I think it's Deliberate Intent. Ooh, the title is escaping me. The Amazing Power of Deliberate Intent, I think is the title. But they talk about changing your story. So something I put up here, just for myself, I'll read it to you now. It's from the book. Highly recommend that you pick it up. But it talks about, your new stories versus your old stories, right? So new and old stories that you're telling yourself about where you are and what you're doing, which with the wands here, I feel like is kind of the case. And like the Eight of Cups, it's not an energy of storytelling, but I'm getting that there's this sense of journeying to, it's like this is like the hero's journey card to me, right? The Eight of Cups, where it's like you're discovering, there's a narrative as well. And I feel like this is also, it showed up as narrative, but so new and old stories. So and again, this is also, it's showing up, the energy of this is like you maybe can't see the new story yet, but you just have to know that the old is uncomfortable enough that you want something new for yourself. And I feel like that's where this sort of embrace energy comes in, where there's like a recognition. This could be relationship related, this could be job related, whatever it is. It's something that's, it's causing a recognition in your heart center. It's causing a recognition in your heart center. Yeah. So this story here, I've written it out. I was going to take it off the wall, but it's kind of on there. No, maybe it'll work. Okay. So it says, I know that I will not always be right here in this place doing this same work. I like understanding that things are always evolving, and it's fun to anticipate where I am headed. While there are many things that could be better where I am, it's not really a problem because where I am is constantly changing to something better. As I look for the best things around me where I am, those things become more prevalent in my experience. It's fun to know that things are always working out for me, and I watch out for the evidence of that, and I see more evidence of that every day, which is brilliant. But yeah, it's, and just not just that, but just thinking like, I have it on my laptop. Things are always working out for me. And I have it as my wallpaper on my computer as well. Things are always working out for me. And you really have to believe it, right? And not because it's like, oh, that's fun, that's nice, but what else is happening, right? What is it that could possibly be happening otherwise, if not your highest good unfolding, even in the discomfort, even in the recalibration of things, right? So I'll put in the description a link to videos. They're Abraham Hicks videos that I watch or that I listen to in the mornings. They're quite good. They just kind of like get your vibe going. And I've been back into these habits. But yeah, so yeah, this is really, I think this is about, there's stuff that you can't see, obviously the moon card, but it's these stories that are, the new isn't apparent to you yet, but you really have to resist the urge to focus too heavily on the one that's missing, because you have it here, but it's like this 5D version that it's not about not seeing it yet. This is really about not seeing it clearly, which doesn't mean that it's not there. It's just on its way. And this doesn't necessarily mean a person. I think this could be a project. This could be energies that you're working with, right? And I think that this Queen of Wands tells me that there's a fire that you're getting back in touch with within yourself, be it about a project or an idea, or, this is also, I think the Queen of Wands is like, I think of it as this sort of optimism card, right? Some people think of the Queen of Cups in that way, but I think about this as an optimism born of a place of knowing that you have a fire within you that can make things happen and move in the world in ways that move others, or that shape. It's like this beautiful creative energy. It's almost like an empress energy, the way that it's coming through energetically. Yeah. Moving mountains is what I'm hearing. So I feel like there's like a mountain moving energy in you. And instead of moving mountains like this, it's like you're moving mountains with this, like this, with this. And that's where I think there's a shift that's kind of coming about a little bit here. It's not an overly, I don't think it's a shift that's like a tower moment necessarily. Yeah, see, there's the Empress. I could feel that energy so strong. And the Nine of Cups, and then beneath that, wow, the Chariot and the Ace of Wands. Whew, that's some powerful energy. Wow. Yeah. But you know what's interesting? On those energies, there's the Tower. That's what came out under the Ace of Wands. Excuse me. Good Lord. I'm going to get some water. Give me 1 second. And we're back. But I feel like this is like an aspect of yourself that it's almost like you're surprising yourself, right? You're like, oh, this feels really good. Like I can appreciate all these things. This is actually really wonderful, right? This is like you saying that thing from Abraham Hicks that I just read, right? It's fun to know that things are always working out for me. And I'm content with looking for evidence of that. And the more evidence, the more I look for that, the more of that I see, right? So it's like this energy where you're like, yeah, I'm good. And then what you don't realize is that you're actually your own source of momentum. You're your own source of momentum. And again, I think about like this like vehicle, like the heart as a vehicle. That's again like the vehicle in the cold, right? And I think about it's like, I don't want to say it's coming in from the cold because I don't think that's where you were necessarily, but this is coming through as like, you know, a resonance, like a response that your heart is having. And you're like, forward movement, hell yes. And it's just interesting to me that this Ace of Wands in the Tower, it's almost like there's something about this that surprises you. Like you surprise yourself maybe a little bit. You surprise yourself with how much, I almost feel like with how much you want something. But I feel like it's not in a, yearning thing. It's not like that. It's definitely not like that. I just get that, okay, we're going to do this because I can see my cat giving herself a bath and I do not want the world to see that. So I just feel like this is about you. It's like, it's surprising yourself. But it's almost like it's like, I feel like the Tower is showing up because there was a resistance to new. And what that resistance means in terms of, it could be jobs, it could be, relationship, it could be a number of things. But the resistance to the new, it's almost like you had to first believe in yourself a little bit more. And that it sort of triggered this Empress energy in you that is this magnetic force unto itself. That it's almost like you're allowing your heart to exhale. Like you're allowing your heart to exhale. Like you breathe in through want and like, and like you're like, whoa. Yes, right. Like you're so excited, but it's a clench, and then you didn't exhale, and it's almost like your heart is exhaling on something, and that's where this Chariot is coming through as this out breath of moving towards. It wouldn't surprise me if the Judgment card came out because I was really feeling that energy. You want these back in, okay? I was trying to put it down, and I'm like, it doesn't feel right. It's just like this exhale, the heart exhales. But again, it's from this let them. I don't know why or how this is connected. Maybe it resonates for you. I don't understand it. It's just coming through, but let them. Maybe there's something like you feel like you couldn't want something and that's why it's a Tower. 3333. No, I thought it was 333. Sorry. I looked up and it was 3323. That's my mistake. Freaking numbers. Dyscalculia, let me tell you. Knight of Cups. Yeah, this is, so it's like that forward movement, but it's like baby steps. Like you have to give yourself a little bit. This is like baby steps and grace coming together in like a little bit of a compassionate, exchange with yourself, I think, and your own desires, because that's going to allow you to be more in your vehicle, as it were, when it comes to the heart as such, right? The heart as the vehicle is the Ace of Cups. So it's like how is that being offered, and what does that mean for you? How is that being offered? So the King of Pentacles tried to come out. So is the King of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. Like, how is that being offered? And it's almost like, I think it's sort of grounding feelings that were perhaps like up in the clouds and a bit far away too, but not out of your reach. I think just distant from you. And I feel like that's why this Two of Cups is here, because if this is like a type of work, a project, a person, it could be something that it's just like this recognition, but there's this hint of something from the past or past life related, where it's almost like it's like a recognition of something that, and again, I feel like this is like you giving yourself something that you maybe denied yourself. Because we sometimes think of denial as like so pious, right? Like it makes us so great. It's so amazing. But it's like sometimes we deny not because something is bad for us. We deny because we feel like we're not worthy. We deny, and it gets to a place where we never allow our heart to exhale. So it just keeps taking in all this energy, right? It keeps taking it in and building up, and then it's like joy is an exhale as well, right? The sun and the star are like the inhale and exhale of your joy. So it's like the way that this is coming through is like you're finally allowing yourself to exhale. Let them. It could be it's like surrendering your own thoughts, surrendering thoughts about other people, just surrender in general. The way I'm seeing this with the Knight of Cups and the Six of Cups, what just came through was like a little bit of forgiving yourself, perhaps. Forgiving yourself a little bit. Let me move this up here. There we go. Forgiving yourself. Maybe that was causing a lot of instability that was reflecting in things you were manifesting and how you were trying to heal. Because I almost see this as showing up in reverse, right? Like it's like there was an instability. There was an instability that just wasn't, it was like, you couldn't really dream that big, right? Like you couldn't dream that substantively. Because I almost feel like this is like, you had so much to pour out. Like the pour out just meaning to exhale, right? Like the heart wasn't doing that. This is so interesting that it's coming through this way, but it's like the heart wasn't able to fully exhale because of whatever this instability represented, even if it's not, even if it's like the instability of beliefs, of feeling lack, of the lack thereof something. But I feel like there's something that's really connected to you forgiving a younger version of you or something that you perceived about yourself and letting that go. Because I feel like then you step into some kind of power here. You could have air in your chart, but I also see a lot of cups and a lot of wands, so it could be any sign, to be honest. But I know that Mars is in Gemini, so it could be related to that in terms of the, I mean, I'm inclined to believe it, so, but yeah. Yeah, Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. Wow. And that's where I feel like things come together in ways that you can't expect. And this is a beautiful juncture into the wheel because it's the things that you can't see coming. And it's the Tower energy, and that could be where this comes from as well, right? Like the Knights are offers from people. The Pages are offers from people. They're energies that are exchanged from others. But the Aces, the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords, that's energy from spirit. That's outside of us. Right? That's outside of us. And also I think because of the wheel here, it's like something you cannot fathom. You can dream of it, but until you let your heart fully exhale, can you believe that it's coming? Can you believe that you are deserving of it? And I was meditating on this, kind of yesterday and today, but just thinking about like when we feel like we don't have enough, it's so active in our vibration that we also are not enough to ourselves in our minds, right? Just reflecting recently on like just job stuff and some minor discontent with where things were and feeling stagnant, right? Just feeling kind of stuck. But then pulling back and reminding myself, I don't have to have it all figured out today. And, just thinking about those things and comforting myself, yes, but like self-soothing, and self-regulation. But there was also this aspect of seeing that, how can anyone meet you where you are if you do not feel like you're enough in the first place, right? It's just not possible. It's just not possible because people are going to have to jump through hoops and do all of these things to get your attention because you're going to constantly be questioning whether you deserve it in the first place. So it's like, and that, but just that idea of when you feel like you don't have enough in some way, I feel, based on what I'm learning and also seeing it from talking to different people about this in the past few days. But it's just when you do not feel like you have enough in your life, when you feel a significant lack, there's also a part of you that is drawing that to you because you believe that you are not enough. You believe that you are not enough, right? So, and sometimes all you have is enough for today, right? And that's like, some people might feel really anxious about that and be like, that's flying by the seat of your pants. But it's okay if that's the case. It's okay if that's where it is for today, because maybe that's the lesson that you needed today. Tomorrow you could friggin' win $1 million. You could, things could shift and change in an instant. But where you needed to be for today was in that energy to understand and learn something. And I feel like this 10 of Wands is also like learning to let go. Like it's like a learning to let go and how to care for yourself better. Yeah, let them. Because I think about these as being all of the stories. Maybe this is part of the younger you, like you're forgiving, this forgiveness energy. Maybe there's this younger part of you or this aspect of you in some iteration of your life thus far where you see all of the things that it's almost like these are doing all of these things for other people, codependent behaviors where you're carrying things and burning your muscles out, burning yourself out. For what? Right? For what? And I think there's been healing that's been taking place. The star doesn't show up twice for nothing, right? So I feel like there's healing that's been taking place of that. I'm feeling compelled to pull one or two more on this energy here. So I know this is a long reading, so thank you for watching. But the Strength card and the Hierophant. Oh, wowza. Yeah. This isn't just like, this is sort of, I think about this, the way this is coming through, I think about the Hermit as like, the Fool as like faith in yourself, and the Hierophant as like faith in things outside of you. But I almost feel like this is like faith in your power. This is like remembering your power and putting faith in that, right? There might have been even a test of faith recently. But I feel like you're kind of moving through it really swimmingly. Really swimmingly. Wow, that was interesting. So the Queen of Cups is on the bottom, and then I split the deck, and then it kind of went like this, and then the two cards were like this, and it was the Lovers and the World. And then underneath that, the freaking Ace of Cups. There it is again. Yeah, there's a lot that's kind of closing out and shifting, and this could be related to the Pisces full moon that we're in the midst of. I can see it right outside my window. It's actually quite lovely. It's very, very yellow and cheese looking. Yeah. I almost feel too like this is like expansion in 5D with this wheel, and the full moon is coming across as like an expansion in 3D. And there's like a release, but it's so goddamn good. Oh, like that's what you're letting go of. That's what you're letting go of. And then it translates into something so profound where it gives you greater access to your creative energy because you're not so focused on manifesting something that you're missing what you have. You're missing the 3, right? You're missing these energies. It's a celebratory energy. It's like you're missing that. And it's, I think, allowing you to see the forest for the trees, or forest for the wands, I should say. But yeah, so let's pull an affirmation card before we close this out. Spirit, what messages do you have from a creative unconscious collective, please? Messages from a creative unconscious collective. Thank you so much. Yeah, let people misinterpret you. Let them judge you. Let them do whatever they're going to do. Let them misunderstand you. Let them hate you. Hate is a really strong word, but let them bring whatever energy they want to the table. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. And a lot of the time, people don't know intentions, right? 4444 on the time. Definitely some angels with you right now, but let them, right? It's not your job to get everyone to understand you, ever. And no one owes us that either. So I choose peace. Yeah. Life does not want you to suffer. You struggle because you let life love you only so much. And that's what this 10 of Wands release is as well, right? Where there's drama in your life, let grace in. Yeah. Let them, and then that's how you let in, right? Let them let in. I express my gratitude. Make gratitude your spiritual practice today. Start with, good morning, bed. Thank you for being so comfortable. I love you. The more you express gratitude, the more you will find to be grateful for. General rule, yes, but also just remember to let your heart exhale. It's scary sometimes, as I know, but it's so damn good when you finally do. So that is what I've got for you today, my darlings. If this resonated, please give it a like and subscribe. I'd love to have you on the channel if you're not already. But if you are joining me for my subscriber base, thank you so much. I really appreciate that you're here, especially because this is a huge reading. This is very long, so thank you. Yeah, if this is where we part, I hope that wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, it finds you very, very well, my darlings. Take care.